A board is only as good as its membership. How do you recruit new members and prepare them for their role?
I think the key to the successful school board is having a skills-based school board. So you have a number of people from various different walks of life, community members, professional HR type people, community service providers. It just makes a well-balanced, well-rounded board.
We target specific parents who we think might be a really good fit on the board. And we also look at the whole school community. So for instance, in our school we have a fairly large Indigenous community. We also have a fairly large Asian community. So we want to get representations from each of those community groups.
What did we look for? Clint and I, as chair of the board, new chair of the board, and myself, we will look for a range of expertise. So we were looking for people involved in the legal profession. We were looking for people involved in the health profession. We were looking for people that were involved in a strategic planning. So we looked at a variety of different portfolios that people might bring into our board and enable us to gain great wisdom from what their background is. I think the other thing we look for is a good cultural fit for this college, people who really are in tune with what the college is all about, and people who can work well together but can have a robust discussion.
I think prayer, faithful people who believe in what the Catholic Church is about, what the Gospel's about, people who believe that the Catholic education ministry makes a difference and makes a difference through the activity and life of the school.
We started with a brand new formation of the board going back about 3 years ago. We have certain roles that we wanted to attract to the board, so we specifically targeted people with expertises in those areas within the college and the actual parish community. We did that by putting the word out there through different marketing mediums, and we literally attracted the right people into the board. From there we did a small qualification, and once those board members were selected, then we went through a training program. And in fact, our first meeting was a complete training program on what the roles and responsibilities for the board members were. And then for the next 6 months, as part of our agenda item, we would actually have one portion of the meeting set aside for a new aspect of the board requirement.
As I said, we're a skills-based board, which is really good. There's professionals, there's doctors, I'm a lawyer, we've got an accountant and a financier, we have community health providers, so medical. It creates a really good atmosphere that you have people coming from all different walks of life, coming with all different ways of looking at things. So from my perspective as a lawyer, we haven't always agreed with some of the community concepts, I suppose, which are certainly sometimes different from the legal concepts. So that's been a challenge. But then on the other hand, we've had one of our board members who's a medical practitioner, which has been absolutely excellent as we've been setting up the policies and the procedures for the school. So it's been a real bonus.
So board membership's really important, and so that we can have the best quality discussion and outcome, we need a balance of different backgrounds on our board. So we strategically have a look at people's life experience and areas of background. So we might have someone with finance and someone with a corporate view, someone who doesn't have that either, so a different background, and as well as some staff. We also have members of the board who have an ethnic background, because our school community is very multicultural, and so we've introduced an Indigenous person onto our board this year for that reason, to make sure that all voices are heard. So nominations are discussed at board level, and ultimately the parish priest and myself will approach with the board chair new members to come onto the board.
Well, I think application should be, first of all, open to people who are interested. And then I think the parish priest or the principal then makes appropriate investigations as to the suitability of the person who's applying and how they best fit into the existing board and bring a vision to it.
Our new board members back in 2013 were taken through a process at the time by one of the directors of school development at the time. And it was a great process. It was a process that really enabled our board members to have a good, strong feel of what their responsibilities were. So it was a process that took place not over just one night, but over a series of meetings to allow them to really see what the bigger picture of serving on our board were. I think they started off with their L plates on, but very much gained quickly into the process of knowing where their levels of input had to be and how they needed to share that amongst the group.
Training is pretty much on the job, so you come in, I mean, you'll be invited to give your feedback on certain issues, and I know certainly from my perspective as chairman of our school board, any new members we very much welcome them into our community, into our board community, and also invite them to give feedback from their perspective. Otherwise, you know, it's really, we're really wasting our time. It needs to be a community and a whole of board feedback.
At the beginning of each year, when we have new members join the board, or we're just refreshing current board members, continuing board members, we will do an exercise where we revisit the Constitution and revisit the shared wisdom framework and discuss that and make sure everyone's understanding that prior to launching into the year.